We are trying to revolutionize the way teaching and learning and school education has been perceived in the country for so many years. But are we doing enough at the school level to promote these aspects? Maybe not, which means there is seriously something missing at the school level.
Hi, welcome to Yellow Slate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters. Today, we have Ms. Moumitha, who's the director of Go School. It's an international online school. And let's speak to her and understand more about what they have in offer to the parents and certain challenges and certain questions and concerns that parents who are looking for good online school usually will have. Thank you so much, Moumitha ma'am. Thank you very much for joining us.
Hello. Thank you so much, Team Yellow Slate and Santan, for creating this opportunity for us. We're super excited about this collaboration and we look forward to your support in reaching as many parents and students as possible because yes, Go School is a very, very interesting concept. We are trying to revolutionize the way teaching and learning and school education has been perceived in the country for so many years. Long time back, before the Britishers also came to India, schooling in India was all about personal attention, customization, customizing the education content as per the student's requirement and their interests. So if you had a student or if you had a child from the royal family who's supposed to take on the reins of the kingdom from his father, then his focus was more on maybe warfare, war strategies, history, political science, all of that. Then you have a child who comes from a family of, say, a Brahmin family who are more into religious scriptures, etc. Then the entire content or the subjects that were being taught to the child were catered to his background and his interest. Unfortunately, with the advent of the Britishers, modernization happened in the Indian education space, school education space, and the school education moved from these Gurukuls, where personalization and customization was the way of life there, the way of teaching there, to these brick and mortar school setups where it was one size fits all. Right? So irrespective of whether you like maths or not, irrespective of whether sciences make sense to you or not, up till a particular grade, you are supposed to study all those subjects. So that particular education system, the so-called Macaulay-Led education system, was brought into India because they wanted to prepare a cadre of clerks, people who could follow the Britishers and who could work in white-collar jobs. Now, those times are over. India today is at the forefront of innovation. We are being hailed as the country of entrepreneurs. We are seeing a huge number of startups coming up. In regular jobs also across the world, all major corporations are being led by Indians. So obviously there is a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation, a lot of entrepreneurship that is inherent in Indian students. But are we doing enough at the school level to promote these aspects? Maybe not. Maybe in the school level, in the schools, we are nailing the kids into particular slots that you have to do well. If I'm studying fractions, then I have to understand fractions as per the rest of the 30 kids at the same pace as the rest of the 30 kids in my class. Is that the right way? Maybe not. Because for me as a student, as a future professional, maybe fractions will not be required. Maybe the sciences, maybe maths is not required. Certain subjects are important as a baseline, but not everything. So given all this background and our own legacy and experience in the education space, because Go School is a venture from the acclaimed D.Y. Patil Consortium. Our chairperson is Dr. Ajinkya D.Y. Patil. We have 6 universities, more than 200 colleges. We run 2 major school chains in India. So given our background in higher education as well as in running schools, we realized that there is a growing gap in the way school education is happening in India between the higher education space and schools. Because in the higher education, when you come to do your graduation, become BSc, whatever, BTech, the kind of aptitude, the kind of competencies that are needed at the university level, college level, once the student comes to us post 12th, we take about a year to get them into the groove. which means there is seriously something missing at the school level, which is why at the university level, we require that time to acclimatize the student. Similarly, the gap also rises when it comes to the workforce. At the workforce, nobody asks you at the time of interview, how much did you score in 10th standard? But they will definitely see what kind of leadership qualities you have. Are you a collaborative person? Do you work well within teams? Are you agile enough to learn new things quickly? Now, these are the competencies that the work requirement that in your careers, the students are required. So these were certain questions, certain thoughts that all of us at the leadership level, right down from our chairperson, Dr. Ajinkya Patil, our co-founders, Madam Taruna Maheshwari, who's the CEO of the group, our Honorable Vice Chancellor of the university, who's also a co-founder, all of them started thinking that there needs to be a drastic change which needs to come about in the way teaching and learning is being done at the school level. Having said that, it would have been very easy for the group to invest in the existing school setup and bring about more schools. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to break that system and try something new. Now, what is this? Now, at Go School, you mentioned that you introduced Go School as an online school. I would like to differ and say we are a hybrid school. We are a hybrid international school. For all intents and purposes, Go School is a legit international school. The only difference being we don't take students from grade 1 to grade 5. Our admissions, our classes will only start from grade 6 onwards. And there's a reason behind it. I'll explain to you in a few minutes. So we are affiliated to Cambridge, which is Cambridge Assessment Examination Board. We're also affiliated to Pearson Edexcel. We are affiliated as a physical school based on our existing infrastructure in Mumbai and Pune. A part of the curricular activities will happen online. Regular classes will be online. A lot of the extracurricular activities, almost all of the extracurricular activities, most of the co-curricular activities like practicals, field visits, project work, all of that will happen in person, face-to-face. So we are combining the benefits and the advantages that technology brings to the table with the in-person experiences, which is so critical in the initial school years, right? So again, why online? Like I mentioned, technology usage. Just because we are using technology for our regular classes, we are not dependent on a physical infrastructure, which means that I do not have the pressure of filling up a classroom with 40 students to justify my costs. My teachers, my principal can go out of the way to accommodate different learning needs. It's important that each child that comes into Go School is given the personalized attention that he or she requires. Now that is very difficult, trust me, when it comes to a physical school because they have their own limitations. There's an infrastructure cost, there's a people cost, etc., etc. Also, we call ourselves an international school. At Go School, because we are a technology-led school, it gives me the access as an administrator to any number of teachers across the world. 85% of my teachers are international. They're expats, hailing from different nationalities. The academic director is a Britisher. He has built his team in England. We have teachers who are based in Thailand. We have a digital nomad who works across the world. He travels across the world. We have teachers who are based in Egypt, in Morocco, in South Africa, in Australia. This actually is a boon for those students who are aspiring for international undergrad programs or international university and college programs. Number one, it gets them comfortable with the language. Very easy, right? If you are studying with a teacher who comes with some sort of an accent right from the school years, it becomes that much easier for the student to get comfortable in a Berkeley or say in Wharton when they travel abroad overseas undergrad. Also, it gets them comfortable with the international way of teaching and learning, which is very different from the way you and I would have done our school. Absolutely. Where there was a set curriculum, there was a syllabus, there was a textbook. The teacher made you stand up and read from the textbook. You were supposed to mug up the answers from the textbook or from the notes that the teacher has circulated. And at the end term semester exams or maybe your board exams, you're just supposed to regurgitate all that. You are not probably encouraged, you were not, I was not, obviously, we were not encouraged to think. We were not encouraged to question. Now, that's not how education happens in the higher ed space, where the students are supposed to think, where they are supposed to question and research on their own. A lot of the ownership of the learning lies with the student. In India, it is not like that. Unfortunately, in our regular domestic boards as well as our state boards, it's a syllabus. The answers are there. The content is there. You're supposed to, ratify it and replicate it in the answer sheets. Anything which is against it, if you've written any line or if you've questioned anything, you're marked negatively. And there are enough memes and enough stories floating around in social media which talks about and which kind of makes fun of that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the international boards, which is surprising as well, because they took it from us, they took it from the original Indian education system that asked the student to read on their own. The teacher is a facilitator. The teacher is a mentor. The teacher is not lecturing. The teacher is not supposed to lecture. The international boards have learned from us. And they are now, the international boards that have come to India, be it IB, be it IGCSE, the A levels, or Pearson Edexcel, for instance, they are promoting that there's a text, which is a core text. The student is supposed to think, supposed to collaborate, work on a project, come to class to ask questions. They are prepared. They are reading on their own. The teacher is there to solve your queries and guide you in a direction where the learning objectives are met. Am I making sense to you?
Absolutely.
First of all, yeah.
Yes. Please go ahead. Yeah.
We chose Cambridge and we chose Pearson Edexcel for the simple fact that they are promoting the competencies that are needed at a higher education level, as well as when the child or when the student starts working.
Yeah, here I'm sure a lot of parents are fairly aware of Cambridge syllabus, but can you throw more light on Pearson Edexcel, because that's something not many parents understand, please.
Sure. So Pearson Edexcel is also a British board. Pearson, of course, is a very, very old legacy publishing house. Edexcel is the examination board. They also follow the same pattern as Cambridge. So there is 9th and 10th, after the 10th board, 10th standard, completion of 10th standard is the IGCSE exams. And 11th and 12th, at the end of 12th standard, it's the A levels. So the curriculum more or less is same. The way we have gone through the subjects that we will be offering, the curriculum is more or less same. The teaching, learning, pedagogy is more or less same. The exams are slightly different. We've chosen both the boards because they give my students a plethora of options in terms of subjects. So there are certain subjects which are great in Cambridge. There are certain subjects which are there only in Pearson Edexcel. For instance, classical studies. For instance, thinking skills. Global perspectives is there in Cambridge, but it's not there in Pearson Edexcel. But Pearson Edexcel, for ease of understanding, it's similar to Cambridge because both of them are British. They are formed on the same fundamentals. Both of them lead to an IGCSE board exam. It's called IGCSE exams, the 10th standard one, and A levels for 11th and 12th. The format is the same. The exam paper formats are also same. It's just that there are certain subjects which one offers, the other offers. Physics, chemistry, biology, maths, English, the standard ones, both of them offer. Certain interesting options, especially at the A levels, it's only Pearson which offers that. So our students get the option to pick up a few Cambridge subjects and pick up a few Pearson Edexcel subjects and answer board exams for both separately, at the same time getting their 4 A levels together, 11th and 12th.
And when I think of hybrid or online schools, something that I'm curious about is how are examinations monitored? How is that done?
So in terms of assessments, we have two kinds of assessments. I would say 3 kinds. So one is something called formative assessments, which means throughout the semester, throughout the year, there are small activities happening which sort of check the students' understanding of the content that is being taught. Now that understanding that test can be, for lack of a better word, test, but that understanding can be tested through, say, a project, through how the student is responding in the class, how active they are, how much they are contributing in projects, in class projects as well as in group projects separately amongst themselves, and of course, small unit tests, etc. Now, throughout the year, these formative assessments happen so that we are constantly testing their understanding and application. Because Cambridge and Pearson, Edexcel, both of them focus a lot on application-based learning rather than just content, ratifying basically. That's your first category, where it's multiple things. I mean, they will be practicals, there'll be projects, there'll be small tests, there'll be assignments which are graded. So throughout the year, that kind of testing is happening. Most of this aspect, the formative assessments are online. Children are submitting their projects, they're submitting assessments, they are doing exams, proctored exams online, like the way we are sitting right now. There are proctored exams happening, and our learning management system that we use at Go School ensures that the sanctity of the exams is maintained. Number one. Number two is the summative exams. Now, summative exams actually happen in person. All right, which means that the students come down to our physical schools, they sit down in a classroom and they give their final semester exams.
Got it.
It becomes easier for students in Bombay and Pune because Kolhapur, because we have our own physical centers. Rest, there's enough notice given to the parents and the students to plan their travel to these locations. Summative assessments obviously happen once a year, the end of semester exams. Those are your absolute physical old school examinations. But the best part is your promotion to the next grade doesn't depend only on your summative exams. Actually, the weightage is 60-40. 60% is formative exams. Throughout the year, how you have performed, how much of understanding you have gathered from the classes being taught, and only 40% weightage is on the summative exam, which is your final semester exam. The third category and the most important one are the board exams. The 10th standard board exam and the 12th standard board exam, because that actually is important for the next stage. Those are also physical.
And probably in our next video, we'll have, you have given us so many reasons to connect again with you and ask so many more questions. We'll do that in our next video. And for now, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your thoughts. It will be of great help for parents who are looking for good online/hybrid schools. And we look forward to meeting you again very soon, ma'am. Thank you very much.